In this video, I'm going to show you how much snow you got to melt to make water, especially if you're in a survival situation. To see how much water 5 gallons of snow actually makes. Oh, another day of the snow. Guys, at this point, I don't want to haul water anymore. I need to start figuring out a way to get these animals some water out here. So what I did was I went and looked all over there where the storage stuff is that we have, and I have this old barrel. It's kind of a piece of junk. It's messed up, it's been bent up, but I think it'll hold water, at least enough to melt it, and it's already got ice in there from when it rained. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fire pit. I put these big rocks on there last time because the wind was blowing like crazy, which is good because it actually blocked a lot of the snow on here, so it's dry underneath. Hey, I'm trying to work here. So I'm gonna get a fire going, melt some ice and some snow, give these animals some water. So the dogs have been sleeping over here in this spot, which kind of helped it out because it's knocked all the snow away. Gotta get them out of the way. So we're gonna try to get as much dry stuff as possible. Unfortunately, it is frozen, so it's gonna take a minute for it to thaw out, but I think this will work. All right, I think that's a good base. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use some charcoal, some lighter fluid, and a lighter. I'm not gonna do no crazy off-grid stuff. Just need water. We don't need a cool video. Warm y'all up a little bit, huh? Use some lighter fluid. I don't even know if this lighter works. I think I have another one. There, come on, there we go. Whew, got lucky. All right, I gotta keep this going. Gotta build up some good coals, that way we could keep the fire going. That lighter wasn't working very good. And then we'll get some bigger stuff, get some good coals, throw that on here, melt it, it'll melt all this. Animals can stay around, the dogs get warm, get some water, we're good to go. All right, you guys would feel like this is common sense to say, but some of you guys just don't know a whole lot when it comes to this. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just I feel like it's common sense. But if you guys need more firewood during this, go look for a place that is covered, because there's gonna be dry kindling and dry sticks and whatever underneath it. Even if there's a tarp laying down, a big pile of brush, go move it, and then you can have all this stuff underneath, and it'll probably be pretty dry. Also, don't just throw it on there and suffocate the fire. When you put it on, do it lightly. Leave as much gap between all the sticks as possible. It'll let the air get under there, and as you can tell, it's burning great. And as you can tell, it's nothing but snow back there, and we can still get a fire going. So we're gonna get these big rocks that we had and kind of pile them back on there. This will be a spot for our big pot to be up over the fire. You don't want to stick it right on the fire. It'll suffocate it. Again, common sense, but a lot of people have never done this, and a lot of people watch these videos that want to live this lifestyle because it seems fun to go live off grid. But I tell you now, you have to work every day just to survive. And luckily, I did that long enough. Danielle did it long enough. We're ready for power. So we're not trying to teach you how to live off grid, just teaching you little things here and there and kind of what we have to do until we get our power and water well out here. Let's see if this will stay on there. I think that'll do. Let's see. Maybe this way. Oh yeah, I could already hear it. That didn't take long at all. I think one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is how much ice and how much snow you actually have to melt to get some water, and then also how dirty the water actually is. It is better than nothing. I wouldn't personally drink it because it's pretty gross, but it will be plenty good enough for an animal. Animals are literally meant to drink dirty water. Yes, it's better to have fresh water, but they drink out of ponds and all sorts of stuff. So in a dire need, when your animals need water, this is what you can do. I just hope this video is a reality of how much snow and how much ice it actually takes to make some water. So here's the normal buckets we use to haul water. It's got a little bit of water in the bottom, maybe, or some ice, maybe 2 inches. And then this one's probably got 4 inches of ice. So I'm gonna try to knock these out, put them in there, and if they won't come out, the small bucket for sure, I'll use the hot water to pour in there to maybe melt it. But you'd be surprised how cold that water is, even with the fire going for as long as it has. I can stick my finger in it, it's not an issue. If I touch the straight metal, it's hot, but because of all the ice in there, the water doesn't boil. It takes a long time to boil. Again, common sense, but some people wouldn't think about that. And also, if you ever see yellow snow, don't drink it. That's pee. We got it melted down. I got my bucket. Let's see how much all of that actually gave us. Oh, that's dirty. So melting all that ice, super dirty, but it gave us half a bucket's worth. So this 5 gallons, 2.5 gallons worth of water. That was a ton of ice that we melted. So now you guys can see the difference between the snow, how much you need, and ice, how much you need, and how dirty this water actually is. All right, so for the snow, a lot of people say just melt snow. You got a ton of it. Guys, this amount right here that's on here is probably, I don't know, 1 inch thick. And it's gonna make like a cup. It makes absolutely nothing, but you don't wanna really get it off the ground. If you don't have to, this will be cleaner. It's still gonna be dirty, but get a bucket and try to scrape it off into the bucket. That's why it won't always be super clean. You got a bunch of animals. But we're gonna go ahead and collect as much of this snow as we possibly can to show you guys, if we fill a bucket up full of snow, how much water do you actually get? Watch out, buddies. It's your drinking water. You can tell I filled a 5-gallon bucket to the top, and I know some people will say, well, why don't you press it down and get as much as you can? Well, I wanted to show you that's how much it took, almost that whole top of that. Basically, those boards are 12 feet long, it's about 4 feet wide, so that's a lot of square footage. That's about 1 inch thick to fill this up. So I'm gonna push it down as much as I can, pack it in there. That way I can fit a little bit more, so people aren't saying that I could have put more snow in there, not being truthful. So it packed down just a little bit. I'm gonna put a little more in there, so if we can fill it to the top. All right, guys, we're to the top. Let's go melt this. Let's see. Let this heat up, pour the snow in. See how much 5 gallons of snow gives you in water. So you guys saw that I put 5 gallons of snow in that bucket. We're about to see how much water 5 gallons of snow actually makes. All right, there you go. As you can tell, it's about right here on the bucket. So maybe a third of the 5 gallons. And it's not very clean. It's pretty dirty. So you would go from a whole bucket down to a third just for the water. Hopefully that answers the question, how much snow does it take to actually get water? You could just assume whatever amount of snow you got, you're gonna get about 1/3 in water. We're melting a little bit more. I'm gonna take what I melted and go give it to the farm animals. I already gave the dog some water. Now I gotta give the farm animals a little more. Get y'all that water. Good girls. I know it's not clean like it normally is, but I'll get y'all some water. Breakfast loves to really get in on this and knock it out. So I'm gonna have to do what I can so he doesn't mess it up. There you go. All right, so while I'm out here, I'm just gonna do that over and over and over. I melt the snow to see how much snow you get, and then it just shows you guys how much work it takes. Over the years that I've lived off grid, everyone just said, why don't you just melt snow? It's pretty easy, you got it everywhere. Well, it takes a long time to melt and you only get so much out of it. It is good in a survival situation, but normally, like this, technically I can go get water from town. It's a lot easier to haul water in than it is to melt the snow. You don't get a whole lot out of it, but making sure our animals are good, and so far everything's been great. We've been very fortunate. Unfortunately, I did see people around here lost animals during the freezing and everything, but our animals have done absolutely amazing. The dog houses worked great for them. The dogs stayed in the pen because we put more chicken wire on it, so the pups never got out. They stayed nice and warm, and then guard dogs have a spot back there. They go in with the animals. The animals were good. It just feels very good to know that all of them were taken care of, and we're on the up and up. Supposed to start warming up, getting into the 40s next week, which is going to seem like, it's going to seem crazy. It's going to seem like it's hot, like a heat wave. So very, very happy for that. We can get back to work. I am 100% ready to do some work around here.